Welcome everybody to another World of Tanks replay. Another week, another Obj.140 replay by Driverino again. I know I showed pretty much exactly the same setup, Obj.140 by the user Driverino, although it was a different map, not last week but the week before. But you know, I saw this replay and I thought to myself, I really don't want to show it because I've already shown an Obj.140 replay by Driverino, but it was that good I thought I can't not show it. So I've tried to space it out as much as I can, but like I said, this is what we're going to get because it is an excellent replay. Driverino doing what a fast medium should do, and he's going to be trying to take the hill. He's got two people to oppose him, although neither of them are really a match for the Obj.140. There was actually a T-49 up here, was that? But I think he got taken out really quickly there. Somebody was up here, but is no longer up here. He's squaring off against quite a few tanks here. But like I said, the Obj.140 is very well armoured against these lower tiered tanks and has a very quick firing gun with good damage and good penetration. So he's squaring off against quite a few tanks. He's got a T-62A behind him, but he's not really helping out. I think he's firing down into the valley. So really it is just Driverino up here. And he's taken out an IS-8 very quickly here. The IS-8 obviously taking some damage from somebody else. But Driverino still able to get him very quickly. Now he's going to focus on this AMX CDC. Doing the smart thing of just playing super aggressive here, because to be honest, both of these tanks are going to have a very difficult time doing any damage to the Obj.140. And the only person who could reliably penetrate him there is the T-54 maybe, if he uses heat rounds and focuses on the weak spots. He does get a couple of hits there. I think one of those came in from the artillery. The artillery doing the smart thing of trying to offer some support to the guys trying to cap the hill. Driverino sees that he's missing a large chunk of hit points, so he backs off at exactly the right time, just to try and make himself artillery safe. Obviously he's still got targets that he can fire at, although not anymore as the ST-1 ditches down into the ravine, should we call it? I don't think it's quite a ravine. It's not quite deep enough to be a ravine. Just realised that I was slipping back into the old commentary style there when I really should be making an effort to switch things up like I said I would. T-62, so Driverino there did what he decided to do there was drop back to 1, make himself artillery safe, and 2, lull the enemy tanks into a false sense of security. They thought that all that was left on the hill was the T-62A and that Driverino had abandoned it completely, and then what he can do is just count to 20 and then retake the hill, and that's going to catch everybody off guard. As you saw, was able to put shots through the side of everybody and pick up a couple of kills there, including shots into the side of that ST-1 down the bottom. So he just backed off, made himself artillery safe, let himself fade away so that nobody could see him anymore, probably counted to 20, or maybe that wasn't his intention, but that's what you should do. Count to about 15 or 20 seconds and then retake the hill, and that's going to catch everybody by surprise, because World of Tanks, your standard World of Tanks player is like a goldfish. They forget things very quickly, so they'll have forgotten that Driverino was even on the hill and just think that they can go for that T-62A, close him down and kill him. And then when Driverino reappeared, he was able to put shots into the side of everybody. And see, the enemy team still trying to push down this right hand side, even though they're getting whittled down. Not really sure what these guys in the bottom right hand corner here are doing. They're all the way around, not really able to hit anybody. And Driverino showing fantastic map awareness here. Saw that a couple of heavy tanks were closing in from the left hand side, so he's going to drop back to defend the base. There's more than enough tanks on this flank to be able to repel the attack of the enemy team. There's only a Conqueror defending the base, and he's defending from as far away as he can get, so the enemy team has to come all the way over the hill to try and get shots on him. As you see, this AMX 5120 probably going to get greedy now. He's come charging forward, so Driverino gets a great shot into him, and that the AMX is now caught between a rock and a hard place. He can't really back off, but he can't really come forward either, because Driverino's just going to rip him to shreds, although it looks like he's still got shots in the chamber. If he didn't have shots in the chamber, he'd be hiding behind that little rock. So as it is, he leaves himself way out in the open, and Driver Reno, as you can see, was able to take out his track. He knows that he's got no shot in the chamber. Was trying to stay safe just in case he did have one shell or two shells left. Doesn't want to take any unnecessary damage. Even if you think somebody might not be reloaded, you may have miscalculated or miscounted. So it's still a good idea to try and keep yourself as safe as possible. Firing at a VKB from the front. Kind of like trying to demolish a brick wall with your forehead. So Driver Reno switches his attention to the E75 instead. Lost a big chunk of health there, but he should be alongside the E75 any moment now. Using his heat rounds, as that's what they're there for, to take out highly armoured, difficult targets. E75's got a very long reload. As you see, he did reload, but wasn't quite able to put one through the turret. Driver Reno backs all the way off. Only gets his track. A little bit unfortunate, but he is going to be able to pull alongside and take him out, as artillery shells do land around him. The VKB is now squaring off against his counterpart, the allied VKB, and that's going to be like two people having a slap fight with handbags. That's not going to work out very well, although likening the gun of the VKB to a handbag is a little bit unfair. It's more like two people trying to demolish each other's houses with their foreheads. It's not going to happen. And if it does, it'll take a while and a busted forehead. Game with the enemy team at the moment at 10 kills to 9. Driver Reno can see the Waffenträger up on the hill there. He's squaring off against the T-62A, which is still alive. Driver Reno doing his best to get in a position where he can offer aid. Looks like that T-62A knows that his goose is a little bit cooked, and he's just had to bail out of there, and no dishonour or shame to him. T-62A can't really square off against a fully loaded Waffenträger. He did keep him spotted as long as possible, so the Driver Reno was able to shoot him. His VKB is now looking a little bit worse for wear. He is looking in this direction, and him turning his turret towards Driver Reno allowed the other VKB to put a shot through the side of his turret. So excellent work. As you can see, you can easily make a difference without even firing a shot. Just getting the VKB to turn his attention towards himself allowed the allied VKB to take him out. The momentum still with the enemy team here, though. Although the IS-4 just did an excellent job of evening it up there. He went up the hill in an effort to take out the Waffenträger, and he was able to take him out. Now Driver Reno is going to link up with the heavy tanks here and try and pressurise the IS-7, using cover to his advantage, trying to stay out of the IS-7's line of sight for as long as possible. It looks like he's just going to use his... No, I thought he was going to use his speed and momentum to try and just get around behind the IS-7. IS-7 fires and does some serious damage, but Driver Reno is going to continue putting fire into the IS-7. He's going to allow the IS-4 to go first. So obviously the IS-4's got superior armor. Doesn't have the hit points, but he is able to take out the IS-7. Driver Reno switches up to high explosive ammunition, as the enemy team only has the 2 artillery and the AMX 1390 left. 1390 last spotted close to their base. But to be honest, 1390 is not going to really want to engage a VKB. Obviously, 1390's got the manoeuvrability and the speed to be able to outwit the VKB, but if he can't get around to his rear, he's going to have zero chance of doing any damage to that VKB from the front or the side. So I think if Driver Reno gets spotted making this move here, and 1390 may decide to double back, although the 1390 is still trying to pressure this VKB. Going to try and take him out. Driver Reno hunting down on the artillery. The 1390 crashes. A little bit unfortunate there. Looks like he was obviously trying to come around behind the VKB and probably just slipped off a small rise, broke his leg, and then was had to put out of his misery. That's a lovely shot in the back of the 58 there, as he's making a run for it. High explosive ammunition really doing its work. Could have rolled a little bit higher. I think the high explosive ammunition roll could have been about 420 on average. So if he penetrated and got a high roll, possibly could have taken out the bat chat. But he's just switched to standard rounds now, as he only has 98 hit points left. He takes him out, and that just leaves the Batchat 56. And then know whereabouts he is. But there's only himself, the IS-4, and this VKB. The IS-4 is never going to make it over there. The VKB possibly has a chance of making it over, but it looks like his eyes are fixated on the cap circle. So it looks like Driverino may have to flush this one out himself. He's only got 141 hit points though. And so it means if he even just takes a glancing hit or some splash damage from this Batchat, he's going to be in trouble. Batchat gets spotted. He's back in C1. Driverino going to try and keep eyes on him, see which direction his gun is pointed. And then he's going to try and fake him out. He gets a good hit. He could take him out in a single shot. He lands a good hit. It's a good roll as well, but it's not quite enough. And the Batchat's going to know which direction he's coming from now. And Driverino can't afford to take a hit. So he backs off. Going to try and outfake the Batchat. Make it look like he's coming from the front and then spin all the way around and come at him from the rear. Although I'm pretty sure there's some nice terrain irregularities up here that he can take advantage of. He's thinking about heading around this left-hand side here. I'm going to try and take him out, but it looks like the Batchat has maybe made a run around the rocks to try and get him. So Driverino dips down on the right-hand side into the terrain irregularities here, and this is going to really surprise the Batchat, who's going to be expecting him to come from one of the flanks, and he actually just comes from directly in front of him. And that was a beautiful, beautiful sneaky move there by Driverino to finish him off. And that was an absolutely amazing game played there by Driverino, picking himself up 9,000 points of damage, 8 kills. Fantastic Radley Walters medal, and really being instrumental in his team's victory, playing his role as a fast, powerful medium tank to the fullest. So thank you very much for sending that replay in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, send that into replay@screenreality.com. Link for that's in the description. Just attach the replay file itself or the link to the What Replay website to the email, and I can check that one out for you. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, informative, you learned something, or you just thought it was fun, think about hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on this channel. I have been Maxwell, it's been a World of Tanks replay, and I'll catch you guys next time.